Everybody, Democrats are now demanding that the infrastructure bill be linked to the new budget bill. Chuck Schumer plans to introduce different plans for the Senate in order to send out the fourth stimulus check. Good news, folks, we could be receiving a fourth stimulus payment once President Biden signs the bill. Now let's see what all we have to do is wait and see what he does. Hopefully he can get the job done before the end of the year. Do you believe that President Biden can send out the fourth stimulus check? Tell me in the comments below. So, after months of talks, Democrats are now edging closer to an agreement on what programs and policies to include in Joe Biden's massive plan to expand health and safety net programs. The plan seems likely to include an expansion of Medicare benefits for seniors, universal preschool, and as well as paid family leave. Democrats are now scaling back some investments, or shortening the time frame for when these programs will be run up and dry.
Good day, everybody.
Unprecedented action. The budget resolution we are debating today is simple and it is straightforward. It will enable us to pass President Biden's. Now, Mr. President, I have heard from some of my Republican colleagues who tell us that, well, this reconciliation concept, that's a radical idea. Why are you using reconciliation? And they are telling us that it is absolutely imperative that we go forward in a bipartisan way and require 60 votes for passage. But I must say that when Republicans used this same reconciliation process, Mr. President, I didn't hear much about bipartisanship at that point. In fact, Republicans used the reconciliation process to provide trillions of dollars in tax breaks to the top 1% and large profitable corporations by a simple majority vote. The only people who voted for that bill were Republicans. No bipartisanship in that bill. My Republican colleagues used reconciliation to open up the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge for the drilling of oil, once again by a simple majority. Only people who supported that were Republicans, not one Democrat. As we all remember, painfully, chair of the Senate Budget Committee, this is what I believe. If Republicans can use reconciliation to help the wealthy and the powerful and pass legislation strongly opposed by the American people, we can and must use reconciliation to help Americans recover from the worst economic and public health crisis in the modern history of our country. In other words, now is the time for this Congress to stand with the working class and the middle class of this country and do what the overwhelming majority of the American people want us to do. Mr. President, it is worth pointing out that poll after poll shows an overwhelming majority of Americans, over 70%.
Still, everybody, Democrats are hoping the programs will prove popular so that future Congresses will continue to fund them in the next years. Here's what's in them, everybody. The child tax credit will continue for another year, and that's part of the stimulus relief bill. Democrats increased tax credit to $3,000 per child ages 6 to 17 and $3,600 per child ages 5 and under. They have extended this federal stimulus program, everybody. Now, here's what it's saying about our seniors, because I know many of you folks do not qualify for the child tax credit. So if you're a senior or do not have any dependents, here's what you should know. Medicare will be expanded to include dental, vision, and hearing aids. It's also unclear when or how long each will be included as part of the benefit package that Medicare covers. But each package is expected to survive. Expanding Medicaid in about a dozen states and providing subsidies that reduce premiums are also still part of the plan. And Biden's plan to fight climate change is out, largely due to opposition from Manchin, and that program would have offered grants to power companies that increase clean energy by around 4% each year. Still, hundreds of billions of dollars are expected to be included for programs. Now, also know this, everybody. Pelosi told reporters that we're almost to the stretch, and we are rounding the turn and making great progress to our goal of President Biden's Build Back Better plan. Now, the moderate and progressives have been arguing for weeks over what began as a $3.5 trillion climate plan. This fights over which programs to remove entirely and which programs to aggressively pare back. Although it's unclear what the final proposal may look like, it's expected to be significantly smaller than the original one by Biden. The narrow package includes many of the original plan's proposals, including universal pre-K, substantial investment in green energy, and expanded Medicare benefits. But for weeks, Democrats have been trying to reach a deal on their vast spending plan in a way that satisfies both centrist and left-wing lawmakers. With a 50-50 split in the Senate and just 3 votes to spare in the House, Democrats need to essentially vote in lockstep to ensure the package passes. Democratic leaders have set an October 31st deadline to reach an agreement on the spending plan and a separate $1.2 trillion infrastructure deal. Pelosi did not respond when asked whether she thought lawmakers would meet the self-imposed target deadline. Schumer is also saying this, everybody. He called again on President Biden to cancel up to $50,000 of student loan debt per borrower. Schumer said that student debt makes it harder to achieve the American dream, the sacred promise that you work hard and play by the rules. Should student loan debt, everybody, be canceled by President Biden? Or should he work and focus on helping out our seniors with a fourth stimulus check? Tell me in the comments below, folks.
Travel to New Jersey, where he will visit a school and one of the busiest railroad bridges in the country to continue rallying support for both his bipartisan infrastructure deal and Build Back Better agenda. Back in Washington, President Biden will meet with His All Holiness Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew and welcome the official delegation of the Orthodox Christian Church of the United States. I was about to lose my Greek American card there for a second, but I think I sailed through. On Tuesday, the president will campaign with former Governor Terry McAuliffe in Arlington, Virginia. On Thursday, the president and First Lady will travel to Rome, Italy. On Friday, the president will visit the Vatican City and have an audience with His Holiness Pope Francis. They will discuss working together on efforts grounded in respect for fundamental human dignity, including ending the COVID-19 pandemic, tackling the climate crisis, and caring for the poor. On Saturday and Sunday, the president will participate in the G20 Leader Summit. We will have more on individual bilateral engagements in the run-up to the summit. And from Rome, the president will travel to Glasgow, United Kingdom, from November 1st through the 2nd to participate in the World Leader Summit at the start of COP26, the 26th conference of the parties to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. I will note a programming note for all of you. We will have Jake Sullivan in here next week. We're working on finalizing the details to preview the trip in advance of the president's departure. But Zeke, why don't you kick us off?
Thanks, Dad.
Oh, sorry, can I note one more thing? I apologize. Today, the vice president visited the Northeast Bronx YMCA in New York with HHS Secretary Javier Becerra, Governor Kathy Hochul, and Congressman